Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is a GW Tiger, Geschutzwagen Tiger. It's a Tier 9 German SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Malinovka, and this one is under the command of Talon 1958. Now, he only just recently bought this monster, and it's quite interesting because it's actually based on the Tiger 2, not the Tiger 1. Both from the same family, they're both Panzerkampfwagen 6, but the difference obviously is that this is the much updated version, and the gun he's mounting is a 21cm howitzer, which is the same gun basically on the GW E100. Okay, well, he's got two targets to fire at there. This is a Tier 9 game. He's going to go for the Scorpion. This will be a big bang if he hits that target. Oh, he took him out. First shot, he gets a kill. Well, it is Talon. He does know how to aim accurately. Now he's got a big 21cm gun to play with. I think, yeah, we're going to see some more tanks exploding as they get absolutely annihilated by somebody who's dialed in on them completely. Okay, well, we lost sight of that tank, but there's an FV4202 around, and oh, he's found somebody who's camping. It's a T-95. Well, that's the Tier 9 American tank destroyer, otherwise known as a Doom Turtle. Oh, he's so lucky that shot landed just slightly to the left of him. He would have been damaged by the splash, but the shell did not actually impact on the hull, but that one did, and that came in from the 212A. Now, one thing that Talon does tend to do is he tends to mark his target to let his teammates know what he's up to. And we were saying just recently, yeah, he's marked that one. We were saying recently that it actually does help a great deal if you do mark your target, because not only does it let your tank teammates know what you're going after, but it can encourage them. As another one explodes, it can encourage them to actually disable that tank, which means you get a target that's stationary, and it's much more easy to take down a tank that's actually still than one that's moving about quite a lot. It's almost like they see the down arrows appear above a tank and they think that that's an invitation to hit that thing there. And of course they all do. And as a result, you end up with a lot of damage on the enemy. Well, that's a 112 who's now down to just a fraction of his hit points, and Talon wants the remaining amount. Here we go. Yeah, he's got it. And that was a splash kill. So 3 kills, and the game's only been going less than 3 minutes. Yeah, he's absolutely lethal at any tier, let alone, only at low tiers. This T-34-3 thinks that he can sneak up this way. Well, he's a medium tank. He's got less armor than the heavies, and that means this 21cm shell is going to do a lot of damage to him. And well, he's sitting the other side of the building to that IS-3, so Talon might need to be careful about where he puts the shell. He's marked the ground next to it, fires the round in. Unfortunately, he stuns the IS-3, who uses his first aid straight away. This is the one problem. If you do fire at a building and the enemy's the other side, sometimes the stun can actually hit your own guys if they're the other side of the building rather than the enemy. It's all about target selection. In this instance, at the moment, I think he would be better off up on the hill. Yeah, he spotted it. I saw it in the minimap. Frequently look at your minimap because it tells you huge amounts about where you should need to place your next shell to get the maximum effect. And I'd be very interested in hitting that 2 key right now, because these guys are bunching together, and if he can hit them when they're bunched together, it's going to be extra bang for your buck. Going for the 75TS, splashes in for 279, nice long stun on him. It's a pity the Emil pulled back just far enough to avoid that shockwave. He's now trying to get these guys who are they're hanging back deliberately. They're letting the TS go up front. And there's a shell from the 212A stunning these guys. So if we fire one in, the 212A is going to appreciate that, because obviously he'll pick up stun assist. Going after the Emil 2. Lined up, rounds out, and right into the side of the Emil 2 for 466. An accurate shot. Okay, that Alpine Tiger, that's a good one to hit. It's actually basically a Chinese Wizzy 111. And they're quite good tanks, actually. It's 122mm armed. Very similar in many ways to either a T10 or an IS-3. Yeah, he's focusing on this. Almost loaded. Rounds out. Goes for it. Direct hit. 441. He's now racked up just under 2k of damage. Well, unfortunately, one of our teammates in the Chrysler K went down there. And the Alpine Tiger, well, he's pulling away. I think he realises that they've lost the hill. In fact, there's only one tank remaining up there on top of the hill at the moment. And that's the 212A splashing the Tiger. And he's knocked his tracks off. He's going to start moving any second. Fires around in speculatively. Not sure if that would have damaged him because I think the Alpine Tiger moved. But we've only got this Emil now at the top of the hill and he's battling it out against this M103. And, well, it looks like the Emil 2 is loaded now, so he's got 3 shots and yeah, he takes down the M103. We're still a few seconds away from shooting. That was the 212 trying to get a shot in on the Emil, who's pulled back quite a lot. And now we've lost sight of him because we've got nobody on top of the hill to spot for us. But Talon fires a quick round in just to see if he can get any damage. We don't know if that one did any good. But FV4202, he's near the ramp, the dip at D6. We've got a Progetto 46 there, which is the reason why that FV4202 doesn't want to get near the ramp too close, because he realises if he does get too close, the Progetto will be able to shoot up into his lower plate. But what Talon can do is fire an accurate round in on him to really discourage him from ever coming near the ramp and possibly take all his hit points away from him. Yeah, he's turning and rounds out. This should hit. It does. Right into his engine bay. 506 hit points. And he goes down the next shot, taken out by our Emil 2. Okay, up on the hill we can see their Emil 2. And, well, he's backing up. He hasn't left the hill. It's almost like he still owns it, but he realises probably that the longer he stays up there, the more likely he's going to get killed. We've got a couple of tanks going up the hill, including a tank destroyer. And I think the tank destroyer that's going up the hill is the AMX CDA 105. Oh, no, it's not the AMX CDA 105. I got that wrong. It's a Scorpion G that's going up the hill. Okay, well, Talon's moving position. He's not moving regarding any threat from the enemy. He's actually just moving to get a better position. Better angle. He can support both fronts here. He's just waiting for sign of that Emil. The Scorpion, he's right in the far corner, which is not exactly where you expect a Scorpion to be. Ah, now the Scorpion's moving along the edge of the map. But the Emil, he's made it to the trees, and we're going to lose sight of him now. We fire a round in, and long flight time for the shell. Unfortunately, it didn't put enough lead on that target. Right, this Striv has nailed himself to that rock, and as a consequence, he dies because he's taken out by the Conway. And the enemy is now down to just 3 tanks, the Emil 2 and their Arty, which is a Batchat 155-55 and an M53 M55. I think you can hear Reggie in the background. Yes, he's crying out because this is the first game of the day that I'm commentating on, and he wants to be part of it as well. Rounds out. Did he see something in those trees? Oh, one of our team went down to an enemy, the Emil, the Conway did. But we are now closing in on the northwest corner of the map, and yeah, they have to be in there somewhere. I suspect that that Talon is aiming in the right area to get one of the Arty, because normally the Arty will be on that side of the bank rather than the other. It's a little easier to be spotted on the other side of the bank. He's firing around into that corner just to try and liven them up. Doing a bit of forestry work. Hopefully we're going to be loaded in time. We've only got 1 round left. And there's the M53, M55, and he was right where Talon fired that shell in. So I suspect he did get some damage on that M53, M55. But the Batchat 155, 55 fired back and took out our Emil 2. And he's been killed in response by the IS-3. So that leaves only the Emil, and Talon's now loaded. Stop, shoot. Stop and shoot. Okay, he's sitting in that dip now. He's got nowhere to go except into the water. He can't come up either side, because if he does, the tanks are going to get him. So he might as well fire a round in. This is a premium round. Rounds out. Here we go. Direct hit, and he's killed immediately afterwards. And it looks like Talon managed to complete a mission as well, because it's coming up on the mission alert that, yes, he's got the ticks on both columns. So let's have a look and see how he got on in his new toy. And it's a third class tanker for Talon 1958. Is this the right map? I'm not so sure. It says Prokhorovka on there. That's better. This is the battle. Yes, he's got another one coming up very shortly. Yes, Malinovka. This is the right battle. He managed to get a first class tanker in that game, and not really surprising because he did hit a lot of targets. Just look at that there on the column. Yes, first class tanker, and it's the first time he's had a first class tanker, and it's his first game in his new tier 9 Arty. Would you believe it? Accuracy does pay, and Talon's reaping the benefits of it. He managed to get a bruiser medal out of this one. He got 16 critical hits. He only needed 5. He also got a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else. And that's despite the fact that he got 3 kills in this game. He still had more than 6 enemy tanks that he touched in the meantime to actually claim the Confederate medal. And his win rate for that game was 5,192. Very good indeed. Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, not surprising really. He did get the highest damage in the game, didn't pick up the high caliber, which makes me think that maybe this wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool in total, but I sometimes wonder about that, because Arty does seem to get the high caliber or the high caliber position a lot of times, but just doesn't get the medal. And so we do wonder, is that some slight against Arty? Especially when you get a Gauze medal and yet there's no high caliber. Very odd. Anyway, the next high scorer after him was the Emil 2 that he managed to get that big hit on right at the end. 3,368 hit points to him. And then after that, it was the Conway with 3,229. These were the only 3 players who managed to get above 3,000 hit points in total. When it came to kills, it was the Emil 2. He got 4 kills in that game. And the Talon only managed to get 3. And then nobody on the enemy team managed to get above 1 other than the Emil. And on his own team, there was a whole bunch of them who managed to get at least 2 kills, but Talon was still the top player on that list. And when it came to base XP, it was the Progetto 46 who did better, because he got 1,176. And I think the reason for that is that he did do a huge amount of spotting while he was on the ramp. 6,258 hit points of spotting assist. That guy really did spot like a true champ. I'm almost like a light tank would, but he's a medium tank, and a big medium tank at that. So it's very surprising that somebody would get that level of spotting in a medium. Yeah, very good. So that's why he earned more XP than Talon did. And Talon 984, 818 for the AMX-CDA. Why is Reggie screeching? What is the matter? I think he's having a bit of a problem with his mirror at the moment. Yeah. His problem is he looks in the mirror and he thinks it's a wonderful looking bird, and he doesn't realize it's only his reflection. So he often has disagreements and tiffs with his mirror, and obviously sometimes he tries to mate with it as well, which is a bit funny. But anyway, yes, I know it's weird. I don't know why they do that. He fired 15 rounds, got 5 direct hits, no penetrations, 13 splash, damage of 3,715 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters, damaged 10 of the enemy, still killed 3 of them, so there was 7 there that he touched but just didn't kill, 608 hit points of damage assist and 562 hit points of stun assist off 9 stuns. On a premium account, he earned 49,881 credits, got 64,715 from holiday ops, so he must be very high on his percentage of getting all the tokens on the holiday ops calendar. and total was 114,596. So after ammunition resupply, and these shells are expensive, he still took away a massive profit of 61,796 credits. He got 1 bomb for getting the Confederate, and 1,476 XP times 5 for the first victory, took away 7,380 experience points altogether. So a very good battle there from Talon 1958. And again, he's showing accuracy does pay. If you let the thing dial in on the target, you get really good shots on the enemy, and it really does hurt them a lot. Now, there was one thing during that battle, he fired a speculative shot into the woods where he thought that the enemy might be. Yes, he did hit him. He actually splashed the M53, M55 for 312 hit points with a near miss. So yes, he was right. He was accurate to a fault on that one as well. Fired it in where he thought the enemy Arty would be, and he was there. So well done. Now, I did think when I saw the mini-map afterwards, when they found the M53, M55, that, oh, that's the same spot that Talon fired at. And yeah, it was a very easy kill for our teammates, or his teammates, to get, because obviously he'd taken away most of the hit points of that Arty with that one blind shot. And that Arty was probably thinking to himself, why me? Why me? Yeah, I'm afraid you're in battle against Talon. You're going to suffer. I'm sorry. Well, if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching.